this Pennywise is serious.
Yeah, that blew my mind a little bit.
He's ripping these kids apart. None of these kids are probably going to survive the rest of the series. I'm not going to lie. So the new Welcome to Derry show just came out on HBO Max. They have 2 episodes out right now. We watched them. And I just really want to know, how do you feel about this new show and the whole It/Stephen King type of franchise?
Yeah. That's interesting that you even said that, because it's funny that on our last one, we were just talking about, I think it was the last one or the one before, we were just talking about how we don't really like continuations of things.
Yeah.
Depending on how they do it. And I think that Welcome to Derry is one of these examples of them doing it right, I feel, so far.
I think so too.
From what I've seen, because I actually really enjoyed the first 2 episodes that I've seen so far. I thought they were pretty good. The CGI looks good on all the creatures that we've seen. It's pretty much been just the baby, and then recently the mom, which was freaking insane.
And the things in the jar.
Yeah. But I think that this It is really interesting so far, what I've seen.
Yeah, and I like that they're playing with the fact of not showing much of the clown.
Yes.
They showed a little bit of it. They showed like the eyes, and you see it in the beginning and the intros of the show and stuff. But they're, and obviously partly because Bill Skarsgård's probably got a huge. You probably got to pay him fat to put him in all that makeup. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we're not gonna be able to pay him for every single episode. But I think that it's better like this. Like you're showing the fact that it could turn into all these other things.
Yeah, so I get what you're saying. I think that's the smarter part about it, is that them, worrying about the budget, also they can play it off as this other way of, we're just trying to let him, show that he's a shapeshifter.
Yeah, I love when creativity comes from certain blocks that they have, in production and stuff. I like when
save money.
Yeah, I like when movies and shows find a work a way around it, and then they actually turns out really, really good in the end. But honestly, I think the show is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, for me, some of the episodes, or from both of the episodes, they are a little bit slow, a little bit boring. Yeah, I didn't want to say it outright. To tell the truth, yeah. But they are a little bit kind of boring, and then the crazy stuff happens in the end.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because it's the beginning of the series, and they have to build up a lot of stuff. There's like a lot of things. There's a lot of plots that are gonna be building up in this series, I feel like, and I feel like the more we get into the series, the more crazier the episodes are going to get.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm saying, like how you just said, and that was a good observation, just like the whole thing with the clown. They're not going to show it until the end. I think that's when the show is really going to ramp up, is when we see these kids, whoever it is, interact with the clown. But I want to say one thing I thought was really bold they did with this new Welcome to Derry was they killed off the kids episode 1.
Bro, I thought those were the kids we were going to follow.
The final kids. I was like, okay, these are the kids we're going to follow. This is the new gang, whatever. But they just straight up bro, I'm talking about massacred them inside of that
ripping
theater,
them apart, and binding on them, eating them, all
this
crazy.
Even ate the little sister. Yes. I said, okay, they're not pulling no punches with it in this one.
Yeah, and I like that they did that just to kind of show, like,
this is serious.
This Pennywise is serious.
Yeah, that blew my mind a little bit.
He's ripping these kids apart. None of these kids are probably going to survive the rest of the series. I'm not gonna lie.
I think, and you know what's so crazy? This is a theory I have for the Welcome to Derry. I think in this new series, I believe that these kids, like I said before, I think none of these kids are going to survive this.
I don't think so either.
Maybe one of them are going to survive, and I think it's going to be the girl. The one that we're following right now that was in class, and she's kind of like traumatized a little bit. The girl with the black hair. She has like dark hair.
The one that goes to the
one that was in the bathroom, and she almost had that situation like Beverly.
Oh, okay, I get what you mean.
Her. I think she's going to be the final girl. She's going to grow up, and she's going to end up being an old woman. She's probably going to leave Derry. She's probably going to have, be able to leave. And she might end up telling somebody that is like connected to the usual kids that we follow.
Oh, okay.
That's my theory and what I think.
I think that the kid who's going to survive is going to be the
little boy that got the black eye and stuff?
No, the nerdy kid. The nerdy black kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think he's related to Mike Hanlon from the It movies.
Oh.
I think they have the same last name.
I think they do, maybe.
I might be wrong. I might not remember that properly, but I think he is like, that's his grandpa or something like that. That's Mike Hanlon from the It movies, the 2017 one. Yeah. I think that kid is his grandpa.
That would be insane.
That's what I think.
Yeah,
that's what I think. And that's the reason why his family became farmers and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's seen this crazy stuff with it.
Yep.
Decided to move on the outskirts of town with his family and raise them to be farmers away from all this stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
City.
So that's what I think. I think that's going to be the only kid to survive.
Yeah.
But I like how good guess. I like how this show shows a lot of characters who we've seen in the It movies or family members that are connected to the It movies, like the main police chief. He is the grandfather of the bully Henry Bowers.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you notice when they walked into his office, it says like Bowers on the window.
From this 2017 movie.
Yeah, from the bully from 2017 movie.
Yeah.
His grandpa is the main police officer who's trying to arrest the black girl's father, the one who works at the movie theaters.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
And if you remember from the original movies, from the It movie in 2017,
his dad was a cop.
His dad was a cop.
Wow, bro, that's actually crazy.
Yeah, bro.
I did not even notice that detail. Yeah, bro, you really got to be like paying close attention to even what you're hearing.
And even one of the little boys who died in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
He's a Jewish kid. He's related to Stanley Uris from the 2017 movie. We have the same last name.
The one that was seeing the painting.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I think that's the kid who died.
Yeah.
Is Stanley's uncle. Because remember when the little kid is like in the room and his brother comes in.
Yeah.
I think that brother that comes in is Stanley's dad.
Holy crap, bro! I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna get very interesting when at the end of this series, when it all wraps up.
Yeah, when they get deep into it,
see everything that kind of came before.
And there's even other characters who return from other Stephen King franchises, like the dude who works for the army or for the military, and he's like the one they're talking about, like, oh, you have this gift, blah, blah, blah. He's from The Shining.
Oh, black bruh.
He's the old black kid who talks to the little boy in The Shining.
Oh, that's him. Yo. No, I'm not going to lie, bro. That's insane.
The gift he's talking about is The Shine.
Yo.
So I think they're really trying to tie in all these Stephen King movies and all this stuff.
So, okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that they're going to try to do it where now that we're in the modern age and it's a new time, do you think that they are or should ramp up the Stephen King universe of all of his, you know what I mean, like the Dark Tower and all of
Carrie and all these things, Cujo and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think they should do all of them. Yeah. Like The Shining, I don't think they should reboot that.
Yeah,
I think they should keep that. They should keep that with the original Jack Nicholson, all those ones. But I think certain ones they could for sure reboot them and revamp them. Like Dark Tower, I could see them trying to do a reboot on that
I was just gonna ask you
maybe
which ones
like
do you think?
Cujo would be cool to see a new iteration of that.
Do you think Cujo would hit for today's time though?
I don't know.
A demonic dog.
I don't know. I don't know if it would, but it would be interesting to see
how they do it.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
I think we would all watch it out of curiosity for sure. Yeah.
I mean, it depends. There's so many Stephen King books they could dive into.
Oh yeah, there's so much.
There's some that haven't probably been made into movies yet and stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll be really interesting to see what they do with this. I think they're gonna play it safe, and they're gonna do kind of like with this one, where they're only gonna bring in certain characters.
Oh yeah.
Until I think if this show does really really good, they might try to go into other Stephen King's properties and reboot them and revamp them for sure. I think they're gonna do Carrie.
Oh, I think are you kidding? Carrie. No, if they did Carrie as a TV series in today's time, are you kidding me,
I think
bro?
it would hit.
I think it'll bang, especially if they do it the right way. And for today, that is a really good series that they could do. Is if they adapted Carrie. It's like we live in a time right now where we want to be doing more female-focused projects. Carrie is actually a really good one that a lot of people liked, you know what I mean, for years, from the original to the one that came out a couple, like early 2000s to, if we did it now. Bro, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do based off of what they've done so far with episode 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think if they do reboot Stephen King movies and turn them into shows or other movies and stuff, I think what they need to do is keep it in that time frame.
Yes,
keep it in that era. You know what I'm saying? Because I think where they messed up with that reboot of Carrie was that they tried to modernize it, and they put it like in the modern era, which I didn't think that movie was that bad. I remember watching it as a kid. I thought it was pretty decent.
With Hit Girl.
Yeah, with Hit Girl, yeah. But I think where they messed up is that they try to modernize it. They all got cell phones and all that stuff. It's like, keep all that like in the 80s.
Yes.
In the 90s and all that stuff. Like, I think it hits more when it's like it's a period time. You know
I was gonna say like a period piece. Yeah, like I like that better when a project doesn't try to modernize itself, like, or the people that made it try to modernize it for whatever reason. I just like it when it's like, okay, if we're doing a story about, I don't know, Romeo and Juliet, right? Yeah, it can work out where it's a modern version where they're both from the Bronx.
Yeah,
it's
like,
you know, whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's cool. But I would rather a project where it's like, hey, this takes place during the Victorian era.
Yeah, let's set it in the
Don't
Victorian
modernize it where
Yeah.
these guys are wearing freaking, you know,
Nike Techs.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, bro, this is ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? So I just feel like a project should be set where it's supposed to be set. That's why even with the Welcome to Derry, I think a lot of it also that makes this hit is that it's a period piece. You know what I mean?
And you're set during the 1940s or something?
Yeah, I think it's during World War II.
Yeah.
I think that's really interesting. What they're trying to do from what we've seen so far, I think that this show is probably going to be perceived really well.
Yeah, I think it's, and I heard that they're gonna make 2 more seasons after this.
Really?
And they're gonna keep going back. So I think the next one is gonna be set during the 1920s.
Wow.
And then the next one after that is gonna be set in 1908.
Holy crap.
And I think that one in 1908 is when it first arrives
at Derry.
To Derry. Yeah.
Oh, so this isn't the first time.
This isn't the first time, no.
Okay.
And that's why you kind of tell like the adults are already kind of influenced by it, where like they see the kid getting jumped, and they're not really doing anything about it and stuff, you know. So this isn't the first time that it is here in Derry. He's been here for already, because he comes every like 27 years to feast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they're gonna keep going back 27 years.
I'm curious, bro. So if we go at the first time he's been to Derry, that means he's probably only been to Derry like 12 times. You get what I'm trying to say? If I'm doing the math, like if you do it every 24 years or so, right? Let's say it's 24 years.
He's only been in Derry he lives in Derry, but he doesn't come out.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's only been there like out a handful of times then.
Yeah, probably
like 30 times, like 20 times.
1908.
Yeah.
If he landed in 1908.
Yep.
And you got one in the 1920s.
Yeah.
1940s.
Yeah.
The 60s.
Yep.
The 80s.
Yep.
And then the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, well, every like came probably like 6 or 7 times.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's not even a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that much, to be honest with you. Yeah, but I think it's really interesting though. I'm curious to see how they're gonna go earlier. If he's gonna look different, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he's gonna like change the way he looks and stuff,
and
like when he's gonna get that clown.
I know that's what I mean.
You know what I mean? The Pennywise form.
They're gonna give it to him at the end, but you know what I'm curious about though for future Stephen King projects, we've never seen it before. I'm not saying I want it, but they've never done a modern take on it. The last one took place back in the day. That one was
It Part 2 took place in 2017.
Yeah, you're kind of right, I guess.
It took place in 2016.
It did. They all had cell phones and everything. But I know what you mean.
It was like 20 years after what happened to them in the first movie. So that one took place, I think, like 2016. The first one took place like in the 80s, yeah. And I think the second one took place like in 2016.
Yeah, somewhere in the
something like that. I don't remember exactly what it was.
2000.
Yeah, but I do get what you mean. Like,
you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, are they gonna do another It after that?
Yeah, because I'm saying like in the sense of how they've been doing Ghostface for so long, and it's like now, you know, with the Ghostface movies, everybody has like iPhones.
Yeah, I get
all this other shit. But versus back in the day with the original, it was set in that time where they had flip phones and, you know, everything like that. So it's like, do you think that it should be kind of time capsuled in its time, like stay where it's at?
I think it hits more in the 80s and the 60s and stuff like that. I think it just hits more like that because those are the eras where, you know, I mean, kids could just run around like crazy. They can't just
TikTok and all this shit.
Yeah, they can't just call somebody to help them or something like that. You know, they got to figure things out on their own. I think I like that.
I get you, yeah.
I like that aspect of it.
I think that adds to the horror as well, is that like back in the day when, and I think that's what it was too with a lot of these horror projects is, I think horror projects used to hit a lot harder because the realism aspect of, we're out in a forest and we're over here at Camp Crystal Lake or whatever, and this guy is murdering campers, right? And it's like, what can you really do?
Yeah.
Because none of us have cell phones.
Yeah.
You know, we got to go run to the only one cell phone where you got to sit there and do this or whatever time it was. You know what I mean? It's like, if the phone's even working where you guys are at, because it's like, you know, if you guys don't have good reception out there or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, geez. You're cooked. And, you know, I'm just saying, that's just, I think that hits more. That or even how you just said, like with children being outside, it's like a kid gets into a bad situation back then, they can't call their parents.
They can't call the police.
They can't call the police either. You know what I mean? It's like, unless they get to the nearest phone and have a quarter. It's like, my nigga, you need a quarter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think horror set in older times, like in the 70s, 60s, 80s, or whatever.
Yes, bro.
Before phones were a more, like normal thing for kids to have,
Mm-hmm.
I think they hit more.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like the horror movie is centered around children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the kids or the teenagers or the people who are being hunted or the ones that are the scary stuff is happening to them. I think it hits more when it's set like in the 80s, 90s or something like that, because it's like they don't have that thing in their pocket that they could just call up.
Exactly.
And stuff,
yeah.
And there are there for sure are horror movies where set in the modern times where these kids have phones.
Yeah.
That it doesn't work sometimes.
I was just gonna get into another point though and I'm glad you just said that. I was just gonna say I think that in certain aspects when it comes to filmmaking, I think that we've gotten better and did a pretty good job with going with the times of adapting for horror.
Yeah.
And I think that we went from how we just said making horror movies where there was no phones, no anything. There was that raw horror of like, nigga, I'm in the middle of the woods and I have no help.
Yeah.
There's nobody that can come save me. Versus we're watching a movie like Unfriended and it's on a laptop.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
the Paranormal Activity.
I was gonna say Paranormal Activity with
the
cameras. We did a good job of, I think, adapting to the new era.
Yeah, and I think it hits when you're doing like a modern horror film when it's usually an original idea most of the time.
Yep.
But when you try to go and get like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and let's make it modernized like they did for the Netflix one, it bombs. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying?
Electric saw or some shit. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It doesn't hit. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't hit the same as that original 1970s movies, or you know what I mean? Or even the one from 2003. You know what I mean? Like it's just not gonna hit the same.
Nah, facts.
And I think if they do decide to do Stephen King movies, I hope that they keep it in that period piece. Where wherever it's set from the books or from the original movies or whatever, keep it in that time.
Yeah, I mean, they had recently that Salem's Lot. A lot of people didn't really like it, people thought it was kind of bad, I guess. That was another one of his projects, but I think they did a good job. Or Pet Cemetery, they rebooted that as well. People didn't like that one as well. So it's like, I think that there's certain projects that if you try to adapt it as one of one as close as possible, you will have more success, I believe, with these projects, especially if it's horror. You got to ramp that up. You got to really get into it because, like, bro, they threw a lot of disturbing stuff in these last two episodes.
Sure.
Like, the last one they did, one of the scenes that disturbed me the most was that scene with the black girl's mom.
Oh, my God.
And she basically busts out of her stomach.
That was crazy.
And then she was still connected to the umbilical cord.
Yeah, she had to bite it off. That was
so disgusting, dude.
Yeah, that was nasty.
That was actually disgusting.
That was crazy. And if they keep doing stuff like that, I already know the show's going to go crazy.
Yeah, it's going to hook you, you know
and,
what I mean?
I actually want to ask you, how do you think they're going to show Pennywise?
Like the first time?
Yeah.
That's so
They kind of
good
showed
of a
because when she
question.
was inside the...
Yeah. They showed the eyes.
You can see his eyes inside of the mom.
Yeah, inside of the mouth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you think they're going to show him? Do you think they're going to do stuff like that where they're kind of, teasing with
I think throughout it, they're going to keep throwing him in different scenarios where it's like, they'll show him far in the distance.
Yeah, maybe a balloon or something.
A balloon, things like that. And they might do a couple of those. But I think the first time they show him, they got to do a sewer.
Yeah, have to.
It's gonna
him
be
in the sewer.
It's gonna be a sewer.
That's too iconic. They have to do
I think they're gonna do the sewer shot.
You know what's crazy?
Huh?
I think they already showed Pennywise.
Like fully?
But he's not in the Pennywise form.
Yeah. Where do you think?
I think the butcher.
Oh, me too.
Yes, the butcher who runs the shop.
Yeah.
When the kid's mom goes to pick up the meat and stuff
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think the butcher is it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because the way he's talking to her.
Yep.
And he says, when she's introducing herself, he's like, I haven't seen you around. And she's like, yeah, we're new to town. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's nice to have a variety.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Why would you say that?
That was very
Unless you're talking about like a variety of food. Exactly.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
And then that guy's last name, the butcher's last name that he said, I forgot what it was.
Yeah.
It's the same last name as the old lady that Beverly met at her house.
Oh, when she was older, when Beverly was older.
And she goes back to the house and the old lady's there.
Yeah, and then she turns into the big monster and stuff. Yo.
They have the same last name.
Yo.
So I think that's a form of it. Who's already like preying on the family. And it will make sense of why he's a butcher because it's like he's feeding his family stuff to fatten
them
up
up.
These kids. Yeah.
Yo, that is wild, dog. I'm not gonna lie. I did not even think about that. I did kind of suspect him. That's crazy. That's
a little weird. Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, would he be it? But why would he be in the store like this though?
Yeah, Stanley Cleaver or whatever he said his nickname was.
But yeah, I don't know, bro. That is a really good theory.
That's what I think. And even when she sees the kids jumping that little boy, he tells her like, boys will be boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very interesting.
So that's what I think. I think he might be a version of it who kind of like watches the town and like we said, like uses that job to fatten.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like this could be because this is earlier. This could be when he had a different strategy and he was a little less aggressive, straight up. You know what I mean? Versus now what we've seen from the 2017 project. You feel what I'm saying? So. Or the one before that, I think, was that 2017?
Yeah, that was 2017. Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. So this is freaking interesting. That is a great theory.
I don't know. That might be a theory. I don't know if that's real.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. The fact that he has the same last name as that lady that Beverly met in the 2017 movie is what makes me like, okay, this might actually be connected. That might be a version of it who's using that form to kind of like watch over the town and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep. So we'll see, man. I mean, there are a lot of these crazy connections in the show, like you said, that I really enjoy. And I like when a director or, somebody that's creating a project, they really care about what they're doing this much. So we're going to see a lot of stuff as the time goes on. And we'll keep you guys updated as the show keeps,
we're definitely going to do another one probably when the show ends. We'll probably do another one when the show ends.
Yes, we'll do it and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, actually, before we get out of here, another interesting thing, I think the reason why the show is doing good, I like that you said, like, they care about this the story and they have passion in the story.
Yeah.
The same dude who's making this show, I'm pretty sure the same dude who made the movies.
Yep.
That's why it hits so hard.
Exactly.
Because he obviously loves these characters and, he's taking good care of the series. You know what I mean? But let us know what you guys think about Welcome to Derry. If you guys loved it, if you guys hated it, if you guys didn't think it was scary. I've seen a lot of people online saying it's kind of cringy.
I know, I've seen people say that too.
I think this show is pretty decent. I think the show's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty creepy. But let us know what you guys think down below. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel.
Yep.
Let us know what else you guys want us to talk about, whether it be a show or a movie that's coming out soon, or maybe a topic you guys want us to talk about, maybe for a different couch talk or something. You know what I mean? Let us know down below, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you guys.